right, we're trying this again. And let's see if we can add, oh, yes. Can add Ash in here. Put that away. Bring on a friend. Technology. All right, so getting this started up again. Thanks for your patience, you guys, as we get this started and get this up and running again. I promise you this story is really worth waiting for. This story is really worth waiting for. There he is. All right. Okay. And he's coming back. All right.
I'm
Yay!
back. So I'm gonna turn the car because I'm low on fumes on my battery too. So here we go.
Yeah.
So I'm charging up here.
So you were just saying when you are up leveling in your life across the board, some things start to bleed. That's the word Chanda uses, is things start to bleed.
Yeah, things, the seams come undone, right?
Yeah.
In some areas, and so
Mhm.
that's normal. You
Yeah.
you inflate a balloon, it's going to expand. You inflate a football, it's going to expand, and at some point, it's either going to explode or it's going to seam out. And so it's about getting more material. It's about getting more material, and that's like your growth, your expansion for people. For us human beings, for businesses, it's been getting more leaders in there, getting more talent and things like that. For us as human beings, it's expanding our own personal development, our own leadership, and bringing other people in our lives to support us. So it's all of that. And so the power of this intention, we're talking about intention. I think people talk
Yes.
about intention as this thing that's always workable. Like if you have this power, if you have this intention, and we always talk about it as workable. And so what opened up for me is like, you can have an intention that's actually not workable. It's like, it actually takes you in the opposite direction. And so I was really connecting to this conversation because um, on, what is it, Wednesday of last week, there was
Yeah.
this spill.
Right.
I don't know the exact date on this. There's the sewage leak that happened. The pipe blew up in Tijuana. We're literally a quarter mile away from it, where we start the swim start of this half
Yeah.
Ironman race.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I looked at the profile of the race, and to me, it's not the most difficult race in comparison to other races I have done. And so I'm thinking, you know what? No matter what, I'm finishing this race. There's nothing that's going to be between me and finishing this race. And so this is like 9 weeks ago, 8 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, 1 week ago. But the sewage spill like really played some freaking mind games with me. Like
Yeah.
it really sunk in and started playing some mind games with me, even to the point where the day before I'm like, there is no way they're going to open up this race. However, and what you look for, you actually find. So I started looking like at the PR releases. I started looking at everything from years past, and come to find out this had happened 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So this same thing in the same exact race happened about 2 years ago. The water quality was bad. The course was closed. The morning of the race, automatically, boom, everything's great. You guys can go in.
Mm.
But 2 years ago, the same thing had happened. So one of the news releases that Ironman gave out on Friday evening was that um, it was that, yeah, you know what, we made it, we basically made it open up, and we have everything indicating that we will open up tomorrow and we'll have a swim start, so no one has to worry. So let me put some perspective to this. There's 1,000 participants. They've each paid $500. A lot of them are international, or from other parts of the country. So it's a huge economic play. The mayor of the city opens up the race. Okay, both the race and the athletes opening. So there's a lot of play going on here. So in my head, I'm like, there is no way I'm getting in that water, because after I heard that, I'm like, there is economic play here. There could be I had all these stories, these conversations. Whether that's true or not doesn't matter, and it's irrelevant to this conversation. But what I want to share with you is how quickly our minds can just take over. And so come the morning of the race, I'm going there thinking they're going to cancel the swim, and I'm going to go do a nice bike and run, a long bike and
Right.
run. Come to find out, they actually opened the race. So I asked, what's the bacteria level? No one could answer the question. No one could answer the question. So that gave me even more reason I'm not doing this race. I'm very clear I'm not doing this race. In fact, I connected with one of our friends, and I said, you know what? Energetically, I feel like this race isn't for me. And this is what I want to land with your audience. I actually said this, and and if you knew me like 4 years ago, there's no way I would say anything like this. There's no way in the world that I'd say, I'm getting this race done. I'm going to freaking perform.
Yeah.
I'm going to cause it. However, I came in this thing like this, called spiritual belief system, whatever, that energetically, I don't know if this race is for me. I don't think I want to do this. Energetically, it doesn't feel right. The universe is telling me that I shouldn't do this race. This is what's going on this is what I'm saying. I can't even believe what I'm saying, because if I really get deep in the conversation, I knew that there was something in me that knew, like, it wasn't a knowing of whether I should or shouldn't do the race. It was like a commitment that wasn't going to come to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It was a commitment that wasn't come to fruition. And also what it was like, really what it was, and I heard this recently, it's like, when you're in the world, you either have results that are aligned with your vision, or you have results that are plus excuses and reasons and stories. And I was really creating results with reasons and excuses of why I shouldn't do this. And so I asked them, can I just do a bike run? They said no. I was the last person out of the transition, put on my wetsuit, and I said, you know what? I'm going to just go for it. And I jumped into water. But I want to remind you, 2 days earlier, I'm thinking to myself, there's no way I'm doing this race.
Right.
The night before the race, I'm not doing this race. I'd already enrolled my wife into why I shouldn't do this race. And she was in alignment. She sent me a text message saying, I would never get in that water.
Yeah.
So I jumped in anyways. Long story short, I do the swim. I do the bike. I actually do the run, the full 13.1 mile. In my head, I'm like, man, that was a tough day, and I freaking did it anyways. Come to find out, my good friend says, I'm really proud of you. I'm like, what the hell are you proud of? Because that was the worst performance of my life. That was the worst performance of my life. I mean, I could do that race 2 hours faster than I did. 2 hours faster than I did. And then he tells me, yeah, I'm really proud of you. You did that. I'm like, what are you proud of? Like, you did the run too. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I freaking did the run. I'm at the finish line. I have a medal around me. I know I did this. And I could do it faster. What are you so proud of? Then he says, I hate to break, he kind of said it like, you didn't know? I'm like, no, I don't know. What do you mean? What do I know? Not know. He goes, you were short 1 lap on the bike. I'm a details guy. I know races before I go there. I know the elevation. I know the heat. I know the swim conditions. I know the drift. I know this stuff normally. This was the one time I was detached from the details because I was in the mindset and the intention that I'm not doing this race without even knowing it. I was intentionally disconnected from the race. I was really, so you could say unintentional. The fact is, I was intentional with it. I had already declared that I'm not going to do this race. And therefore, I had received an email this morning. Well, I opened it this morning. I actually received it at 2:30 yesterday, the day before, on the race day, saying that we hate to inform you that you're based on the timing chip, you are 1 loop short of the full 56 miles. So therefore, you're not going to complete the race. Now, I have a million excuses for why that happened, a million reasons for why that happened. The truth is, the reality of it is, my mind, my intention wasn't there.
Right.
And so therefore, what I caused, and it was there. My intention was not to complete the race. See, notice how I just said my intention wasn't there. The fact is, the intention was there. I am not completing this race. And therefore, I caused it. I had a really painful day with no result. I had a really painful day with no result, no outcome that was aligned with my personal vision. If I go back to the day I declared I'm going to complete this with my team. So I actually didn't complete it. And I get to really be present to that conversation so that I know, and I could give this message to the world that your intentions are super powerful. If you say you're not going to have the relationship of your dreams, you won't have the relationship of your dreams. You could be in a relationship right now and declare that this isn't working. Guess what? It's not going to work.
Right.
That's your intention. You're not going to make it work. You're not going to cause it. You can say, I've had miscarriages, and so therefore this is never going to work, and this person is to blame. And you're going to be right about that because that's your intention. That's what you're causing. You're going to say, you know what, this is not the right coach for me. This person is not the right coach. This person isn't coaching me properly. This person doesn't know me. Whatever the story is, and you will actually cause exactly that. What you
Mm-hmm.
won't cause is that coach can work for you. That coach
Mm-hmm.
can cause a result for you. What you won't cause is that relationship can work for you. That you can create the relationship of your dreams with the person you're with. What you can cause is not you completing the race. Or you
That's
can be
right.
the source and the reason that you have the best race of your life, even though you're untrained
Mm-hmm.
or not trained
So
exactly the way you should be.
So how do you, so for those that are watching and thinking about their businesses, can you connect the dots for them on their specific business results, or you're already kind of doing it as far as like, you can be intentional on things not working. So how do you switch it around so you can be intentional about things working and creating a fast shift?
Yeah, so the fastest way I know is I think it's so easy for us, like for me, even like right now, like I am not in the story of I didn't finish the race and, that was a shitty performance, or the conversation is not around what the result of the race is and who I become because of the result of that. So the key is connecting to, you know, it's like we all have needs, wants, desires, visions, whatever you want to call it, goals, whatever, objectives. We all have all of these things, and so it's really important to connect to what that is for you
Mm-hmm.
and just
Yeah.
be connected to what that is and really connect to stand in it as it's going to happen. Be in a conversation that's going to happen. I'm going to create that. And the faster you hone in on that, the quicker you focus on where you're going. And another example is, look, we're talking about sewage spill in the ocean, right? So I'm
Yeah.
swimming. All I could think of is sewage spill.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I could think of. And I really consciously was like, this is the cleanest ocean in the world. Like I could have gone there, but I still was stuck in this. This is bad water. I should like be really conscious and really be careful what goes in my mouth, all this stuff. It like really messed me up. I was so far like so slow on the swim because I was focusing on something that wasn't working in the moment. Like I'm in the water already. I'm
Yeah.
already in the water. It
Yeah.
doesn't serve me. It doesn't serve anybody else in the world for me to focus on everything that's wrong with the water. What it would have been really powerful is when I could focus on, I'm going to complete this faster than ever before. I'm going to
Mm.
complete this faster than ever before because that's what I'm focused on. I'm not focused
Yeah.
on what doesn't work about this environment. I'm focused on like I'm going to complete this faster than ever before. That is powerful. That creates something very different. And so it's like when you're in a relationship that you're in a conversation of, oh my God, this guy is just like not romantic. This guy is a drag. This guy is like weak. Well, if you're in a conversation around making that person weak, not romantic, guess what? That person is going to show up even weaker than you think in
Hmm.
that moment. They're going to show up even weaker. They're going to show up less romantic. They're going to show up less connected. Versus if you focus in like, I'm just super lucky to have this and look at everything that works about the relationship. And if you focus on that, you'll actually create a man that's very powerful.
Mm.
You'll actually
Mm-hmm.
create someone that's going to be extremely romantic and creates moments together that you would never imagine. So that's how powerful we are as human beings. I mean, just look at it. Look at
Yeah.
everything that we've invented as human beings. Nobody ever looked at birds, oh my God, we'll never fly. No, the Wright brothers looked at it. They said, you know what? We know bicycle mechanics on the ground. I'm sure we can figure out the mechanics of a bird. And they did. They did. And there was someone else in Brazil that thought about it before, but we won't talk about that because we're here.
Yeah.
So what I'm sharing with you is focus on like what you want to create, what your needs are, what your desires are, and look at what creates the workability around that and what about it works already.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, like, even when it's illogical, even when it's like, no, but there's like sewage bacteria in the water. Yes. Even then you can create a shift. No, but he really is weak. No, no, even then you can create a shift, and the shift can happen like that
Instantly. It can happen
instantly.
instantly. Look, when I started thinking, the truth is this, I didn't want to do the race. That's really what it comes down to. I did not want to go out there and suffer in 80-degree weather because I have all the stories and reasons still in my head. I choose not to focus on that, but I still have them. I mean, like, I'm a human being. We're
Right.
all human beings. If we don't
Yeah.
have that, look, there wouldn't be a 1% if we weren't human beings.
Mm-hmm.
The difference between the 1% and everybody else is the 1%, quote unquote, doesn't have everything, but what they have is they have the ability to transform a moment, transform an experience. Like when I say transform, is change. Let me just give you common language. Change. They're able to change the moment. They're able to change their mind. They're able to change the language. They're able to look at the costs that come with making the change, and they look at the rewards that come with the change. And the rewards often outweigh the cost because the desire, the need is that deep in them. And you can
Yeah.
have that. You can create that in a moment. It's not like winning at every moment. It's about winning more moments that way.
Mm.
It's not about winning every moment. It's about winning more moments that way. It's about transforming it in an instant second. I was able to do that for most of the 70.3 miles. I was not able to do that for 12 miles. And I would say the 12-mile cost is not like I've been able to do this for the last 7 years straight, even less trained, and I've done a full Ironman, the hardest one there is. Okay, less trained than this last one. But here's the difference. I had the conversation in my head that I don't want to do it. Not
Yeah.
even I can't do it. I don't want to do it. And then the I can't do it creeped in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I can't
Mm-hmm.
do this. It creeped in
Mm-hmm.
on the bike again. I can't do this. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really want to do this. I want to drop out. And sure
Mm-hmm.
enough, I did drop out by default. And that's
Yeah.
how life is. It's like that's like
Yeah.
a perfect example of life. How many times by default do you give up your dream?
Yeah.
By default. I
Yeah.
did that in one day.
Yeah.
And that was like a microcosm of everything in life. And I
Yeah.
know by default it's cost me other things. There has to have. And it is
Yeah.
right now because of this.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the things I heard you say that I thought was really powerful is like this was an unusual course in its format in terms of like all the loops. And it like someone else may have said, oh, well, like it's the course's fault because there were 4 loops and that's unusual and not like any other of the 14 courses I've ever done. Like
Yeah.
there are so many different places that you could have blamed it on. But what I really want to highlight in what you're saying is the responsibility and the choice of like, you know what, I caused this, and that's so powerful.
Yeah, the power in that, I think a lot of people don't like, I think it's easy to say, it's so powerful to know that I'm the creator, I'm the writer of my book, right? Or my
Yeah.
life or my movie or whatever. It's so easy to say that. Here's the power. I think it's simplicity that I want to explain it in the simplest way possible. The simplicity of the power is this. When I know, when I'm connected, when I actually choose to think, look at the details of that, I actually I am like 100% like I am the one of very few people that miss that. And so now I have an opportunity. The power is this. Now I have an opportunity to like, okay, next time I don't get to have an intention, like I get to be clear on my intention of completion
Yeah.
or not playing at all. I
Yeah.
get to be clear. There's a power to either play all the way or don't play at all. There's a
Yeah.
power. Look at it. There was something about me that was missing to create. There was something in me that I wasn't willing to look at or go there. And
Mm.
so there's the power is that you are able to look at, ooh, I could have changed that. Anyone could have. Anyway, I could have been in the top 10% if I chose it. I just
Yeah.
didn't choose that. And there's a
Right.
power to knowing that about yourself because then you can't. The fact is, we're not that different from each other.
Mm.
Every time you make an excuse, you're saying to yourself, I'm different, I'm special, I'm unique. And yes, you are in terms of your ability to create, not your ability to not create or generate anything. You're
Mm.
unique in your ability to create something different and powerful, not something weak like being disqualified from a freaking race. That's simple. That's simple. Like seriously, it was 12 miles. That I can do. There's no doubt in my mind. I could have completed that race in excellence and actually earned a medal and been proud of like, hey, you know what? I did earn a medal. I actually earned a shirt. I actually earned this. Like this is great. There's a power to that completion. But in
Mm-hmm.
reality, I have to come back home and tell my 4-year-old son, you know what? Dad wasn't really connected to it. And so he didn't train for it and he didn't have a great
Mm-hmm.
performance and he didn't complete it. I was honest with him. Just like I
Mm,
want to be honest with myself. I want my son to be honest with themselves. If his
mhm,
relationship is falling apart, he has to look at himself and say, oh,
mm.
gosh, something from me, I'm creating a relationship that's not working, even though I want it to work. And, or he gets to look at himself and say, I really wanted to win that race and I didn't win. So I'm going to make sure next time I win.
Yeah,
And I'm going to
powerful.
change that. I'm going to like run faster. I'm going to train harder. I'm going to play it
Mm,
all out. I'm going to put it on the table and I'm going
mhm.
to like serve it. I'm going to go
Wow.
for it.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. I know, speaking of your son, you're at swim with him. So
yeah,
I know you got to run, but I just really appreciate you taking the time, Ash, to spend with me and with my audience. And based on all the comments, you'll have to come back and look. You made a really big difference. So thank you so much for
thanks.
sharing.
Thank you, Julie. Thanks for creating the opportunity. Love you. Thanks again. Have a good one.
Love you. See you later.
See you later. Bye, Dharma people.
Bye. All right. So there you have it, people. He'll come back and look at the comments, but I appreciate your shares. I appreciate your comments. I've been watching them come in, and I can see that Ash's story really resonated with you. So thank you for your patience again with the technology. And I would love for you to comment and share what you got from this conversation, from this story, and most importantly of all, how you intend to apply it to what you're up to, your dharma, your business, your relationships, your life, because that's really where the magic is. So I'm going to let you go for now. Matt's waiting for me to go to dinner. He's literally still hungry from, well, yesterday we got back from the race on Sunday, and then yesterday he was like, I'm so hungry. We like go to the grocery store. He wants everything. He was like in a 6,000 calorie deficit. So super fun. So I'll see you. Actually, I won't see you next week for Dharma Talk Tuesday because I will be at the Zone event with Shanda Sumter and Ash. So Ash is Shanda's husband. And so we're going to be there at the Zone event, but we will have someone here for you, and that will be a surprise for next week's Dharma Talk Tuesday, and then I will be back the week after that. So I hope you have a great rest of the week. I'll see you the week after next, but you still come back because we will have a special guest for you for next week's Dharma Talk Tuesday. God bless. See you guys then. Bye.